brought to you by New York Community Bank and the NYCB family of banks. Visit them at mynycb.com. By Toyota, the national clearance event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. And by Nationwide, speak with James Panaro in Bethpage or Steve Principe in East Meadow today. Be at Citi Field Friday, August 18th for Free Shirt Friday when the Mets take on the Marlins at 7:10 p.m. All fans in attendance will receive a Michael Conforto t-shirt courtesy of Taiwan Tourism Bureau. For tickets, visit Mets.com/Free Shirt Friday.
Nice.
Time for the Unlimited Baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Streaking and struggling. Red Sox have won 8 straight going into their series with the Yankees starting tonight. The Cardinals are now just a game behind the Cubs in the NL Central with their 6 straight wins. On the other hand, the Brewers have fallen to 3rd place with their 5 straight losses. They're 2 games out. The Astros 2-7 since August 1st, and not so much of a problem. They're still 13 games in front in the American League West.
Looks like the stock market right there. I love the graphics there. Beautiful.
Ahmed Rosario, Dominic Smith, prospect 1, prospect 22. Smith's debut coming right up. August 19th when the Mets take on the Marlins at 7:10 p.m. The first 15,000 fans in attendance will receive a Yoenis Cespedes bobblehead courtesy of Delta Airlines. For tickets, visit Mets.com/tickets. Mets dugout. Dom Smith, Wilmer Flores. Dom looks pretty chill.
He does, and he's in the 6th position in that order.
Here's the Mets Geico batting order tonight. Michael Conforto's 2nd straight game will hit cleanup at a 3-run homer last night. One of the 4 home runs the Mets hit. Wilmer Flores has homered in back-to-back games as the Mets look to continue their dominating run here at Citizens Bank Park. Philadelphia fanatic entertaining the fans. Standing out at deep left center field. I don't know who he wants to come and join him there.
The fanatic never gets old.
he's been the same age forever and just as green. I think he'd like to know what time this 7:05 game starts, since it's already 7:06. He'd love for the Phillies to take the field.
So would we.
We're all waiting. Freddie Galvis just told him it's not time yet. That's pretty good. Oh, now Galvis is playing with him. Going up the steps, going back down the steps. And now it's for real. Such a happy fanatic. When the fanatic's happy, everybody's happy. The Canadian right-hander Nick Pivetta getting ready for his 17th start in his rookie season.
Downtown Philadelphia in the background there. Center City, as they call it here. There's your starting pitcher, your Toyota numbers for Nick Pivetta, who came over in the trade for Jonathan Papelbon in July of 15. And the numbers aren't great. They say he has a good game, a bad game, a good game, a bad game. He's coming off a bad game. And the Coors Light Philly defense. They got the two anchor corner positions in the outfield, the two youngsters that they have high hopes for the future of this ball club. And on the infield, Freddie Galvis, they say, has just played a spotless shortstop this year defensively. Wilson Pickett. And Jorge Alfaro is another one of their big prospects tonight behind the dish.
Alfaro, part of the deal that sent Cole Hamels to Texas a couple of years ago. Phillies have restocked their farm system with several trades over the last few years, and both pitcher and catcher have been part of that.
It's his second start of the year. Went 2 for 4 in his first start.
Curtis Granderson getting set to lead off for New York. Mets have won 35 of their last 51 games in this ballpark. They've hit home runs galore here, and hoping to similarly take advantage of Pivetta, who held the Mets to just 1 hit in 7 innings at Citi Field on July 2nd. The only hit in that game for the Mets was a TJ Rivera home run. By the way, if you're wondering what has become of TJ, he is still trying to avoid Tommy John surgery. He's got a partial tear in his ulnar collateral ligament, had platelet-rich plasma treatment, and is trying to work his way back, and it'll be interesting to see whether he's able to do that. Of course, the Mets starting pitcher tonight, Seth Lugo, has also got that partially torn UCL. He's been able to pitch through it, so it remains to be seen whether Rivera's season is over or whether he's going to be able to make a comeback later this year.
Nope, Curtis hit a bomb last night. That was what was it? Gary, I forgot. I didn't put it down.
2-run homer in the 9th.
It was number what for him?
It was his 16th.
That's correct.
That's
Thank
correct.
you.
Okay.
I forgot to note him down in my scorecard. How about that?
Covered that. Now Curtis can start the game.
Jeez, and what an omission.
7:09. So they're 4 minutes late starting here. That's not exactly great attention to detail.
Particularly when there's some rain on the way, evidently later tonight.
Pivetta's first pitch is outside ball 1, and we're underway. Granderson, Walker, and Cespedes for the Mets. There you see the official Sherwin-Williams time. That's what it says on the clock. Taken inside, and it's 2-0 to Granderson.
Pretty much, they say 76% of his pitches over his first 16 starts are fastballs.
And now behind 3-0. He's walked a lot of hitters this year, but he's cut down on his walks lately. Only 1 in each of his last 4 starts. But quickly behind his first hitter tonight, 3-0. And Granderson takes a strike, 3-1.
Oh, Pivetta's also had the long ball-itis. He's given up 17 home runs this year in 84 innings. That's a lot of home runs. 15 to the right-handers.
And Granderson pops it up out behind second base. And it's Galvis who will take charge of it for the first out of the night. So Granderson retired, one away. Now Neil Walker, who had a big night last night, had really been struggling after coming off the disabled list with a hamstring injury. But last night 4 for 5, including his first home run since coming off the DL, and he made a couple of nice plays at third base as well.
He certainly did.
Playing second base tonight with Wilmer Flores playing third as Mets continue to shuffle their infielders around. One of the consequences of the promotion of Dom Smith today is that if Smith and Rosario are going to play most days, and that certainly is the plan, the Mets right now have 4 guys to share the other 2 spots on the infield with Walker and Flores and Reyes and Cabrera. 0-2 to Walker. Cabrera hasn't been available the last few days because he bruised his hand on that awkward slide he made trying to steal third the other day.
Probably will be in the starting lineup tomorrow night. Sunday a day game, of course, so they'll jump him into that Saturday night start.
He could start Sunday too.
I love day games.
1-2 to Walker with Cespedes waiting on deck. Well, Cabrera has made no secret of the fact that he is not a fan of the day games, but it is kind of part of the job.
It just kind of tested your mettle. Get out there during the day when it's hot. Yeah.
1-2 from Pivetta, and it's inside to Walker. Interesting that we talked about Pivetta's start against the Mets in New York. It was just over a month ago. There are only 2 players in the lineup tonight for the Mets who faced Pivetta in that game, Cespedes and Rene Rivera. The rest of the lineup has completely turned over. Walker was hurt then, so he wasn't in the lineup.
What's good about having Pivetta on the mound for Dominic Smith is, you're going to be nervous. It's your first start. His mother's here. His older brother flew in from Los Angeles, and you got a fastball pitcher. Perfect.
Three-two coming to Walker, and he gets jammed and pops it up. Another chance for Galvis. 2 batters, 2 pop-ups, 2 outs. Well, the Mets on their homestand against the Dodgers and Rangers produced very little offensively last night. Big difference. 10 runs, 4 home runs. Voila, 10-0 win.
Second division club they're up against, and a club that they own. Not only own, they thrash.
Well, they're 4-0 in this ballpark this year, 7-3 overall against the Phillies. Here's Cespedes, 2 for 5 last night, including a double. And a fastball for a strike, 0-1. Now we've shown several shots of Dom Smith in the dugout watching. So you've gone through your pregame drills. You're not due a turn at bat yet, and now you're thinking about taking the field for the first time.
Well, number one, it's a great feeling to be in a major league ballpark amongst major leaguers. You finally made it. It's your ultimate goal. Now it is to remain. I'm sure he's churning. The sooner he gets that first at bat under is done with, the better.
Good slider by Pivetta for a strike.
A fielder like him, and I've emphasized, folks, that he is a fine glove and a very smooth fielder. What I saw in spring training. That's the easy part of the game out in the field, if you can pick it.
But you would think he would want a ball to handle pretty quickly, just to help with the butterflies.
I would think that he would want a ground ball hit to his teammates and make a catch to get into the flow of the game. It's all nerves right now.
2-2 coming, and he swings and misses at the slider. Cespedes down on strikes. Pivetta picks up where he left off against the Mets in New York. Seth Lugo heads to the mound, and Dom Smith heads to first base. Diamond for the first time. Here's the Hyundai starting lineup for the Phillies tonight. Jorge Alfaro the only change. He does the catching. Rhys Hoskins moved up to the cleanup spot for his second big league game. And Maikel Franco, who's been struggling, dropped down to the 6 hole against Seth Lugo.
The Land Rover numbers for Seth: never walks anybody, a little more too many hits, more than innings pitched.
Cesar Hernandez at a 13-game hitting streak stopped last night. Lugo, his last start against the Dodgers, didn't allow a hit for the first 4 2/3, but then it caved in on him in the 6th inning. As it so often has, third time around the batting order for Lugo. He gave up home runs to Chris Taylor and Cody Bellinger, and that was pretty much that. In a 7-4 Dodger win, he took a no decision. And Hernandez takes a strike on the inside, 1-2.
This is Seth's 6th start since the All-Star break.
That's really hard to say, by the way. Seth's 6th start. Past the mound and into center field, and so Hernandez, who went 0 for 4 last night, starts a new hitting streak with a leadoff single.
Little sinker ball right up the chute.
Here's Freddie Galvis, 0 for 3 last night. This is Lugo's first time facing the Phillies this year. He faced them once last year, right toward the end of the season. It was a memorable game, not so much for Seth. He worked 5 innings, allowed 3 runs, 4 hits, but that was the game that Cabrera hit the walk-off 3-run homer in the bottom of the 11th against Edubray Ramos, who remembered it into this year and then threw one over his head here earlier this season. Slapped to third. Nice lunging grab by Flores. Out at second. Walker's relay not quite in time to get the speedy Galvis. So Flores starting the 5-4 fielder's choice for the first out.
Well, you take the sinker baller the other way. Flores 2 steps to his left. Throws from his knee. Too much speed with Galvis to turn 2 there. Nice stretch by Dominic Smith.
So now Odubel Herrera, who extended his hitting streak to 13 games last night.
Yep, he got that blooper to left field. A very fortunate hit. You'll take him. I mean, DeGrom had his way pretty much with everybody last night.
By the way, Jake appears to be okay. It's not guaranteed he'll be able to make his start Tuesday night at Yankee Stadium, but it's a pretty fair bet after taking that line drive off his triceps last night. But DeGrom, until he got struck by the Nick Williams liner, was right on top of his game again. Got his 13th victory this season. What an enormous bright spot he has been in an otherwise cruel year for the Mets pitching staff. That's ripped to right field by Herrera, and that'll go all the way down into the corner. Racing for third is Galvis as Granderson gets it in. And the Phillies have runners at second and third on the 35th double of the year for Odubel Herrera.
14-game hitting streak. High changeup, I believe. Oh, fastball just up and on the outer half. Gary, I've noticed with Seth of late, he's throwing more almost sidearm, between sidearm and 3/4, and therefore he's losing that sink. That sink will flatten out. He's got to try to get it up higher in the 3/4 position to get that sink back.
So the Phillies with runners at second and third. Rhys Hoskins looking for his first big league hit. Made his debut last night, went 0 for 2 with a walk. Mets play the infield back. They'll concede a run on a ground ball. And Hoskins takes a sinker inside for ball 1.
Pretty much straight up on the infield. The Mets conceding. Dominic Smith way in the hole at first base, covering over there. I like that.
Hoskins, as you see, was tearing up the International League before his call up yesterday. They're squeezing him in to the outfield. He's a first baseman, but with Tommy Joseph entrenched for the moment at first base. They put Hoskins in the outfield for 3 games this week and then stuck him out there last night where he did just fine.
The big kid, another one of these kids that are monsters.
36 home runs last year in the minor leagues, 29 more this year.
6'4", 225 pounds. That's a lot of left field right there.
It's a lot of leverage. And Lugo pitching very carefully, throws the curveball outside. It's 3-0. You got Nick Williams standing on deck, first base open. Right-hand hitter at the plate, left-hand hitter on deck. So early trouble for Lugo to try to negotiate against the Phillies team that has struggled to score runs this year, second to last in the National League in runs scored. And Hoskins takes ball 4, and now the bases are loaded.
Well, the defense appropriately with the bases loaded for the Mets. Lexus defense. Cespedes, Conforto, Granderson. On the infield, the newcomer Dominic Smith, very fine glove. Now we got 2 youngsters on that infield, and on that Rosario at short and Dominic Smith at first. Rivera behind the plate.
So here's Williams, who went 1 for 3 last night. He had the line drive off DeGrom's arm that went for an infield hit. 32nd game he's started since being called up in early July, and he takes a big rip at a curveball, 0-1.
Good curve, best breaking ball that Lugo's thrown. Down and in, you can't put it in a better spot.
Now that's usually going to be the pitch that he uses to find his way out of trouble. And he throws a fastball by Williams, and quickly it's 0-2. Williams struck out in each of his first 2 at bats last night. Lugo could certainly use a strikeout right now. He's not a big strikeout pitcher. He's never fanned more than 6 in any of his major league starts.
Well, Nick Williams, what I've seen from last night is that he's a low ball hitter. You can pop him upstairs. Let's see how he adjusts. 0-2.
And the fastball too high. I think Lugo dialing it up to 95, and he'll do that in strikeout situations.
Well, he's got a low ball swing. When left-handers, it's more traditional. You just pop him upstairs, you get a strikeout.
Curveball grounded toward the hole. That's going to sneak through for a base hit. Galvis in to score. Herrera will move up to third. Nick Williams with an RBI single to give the Phillies a 1-0 lead.
Well, here we go, base at a time again in Major League Baseball. Hanging curveball. Allowed him to catch up with it. I'll give him credit here with 2 strikes. He's protecting, and look at that big hole in that left side of the infield. Pops it nicely right in the hole.
Got to play base to base in this ballpark. There's so little room in left field and with Cespedes' arm.
It's one of my main gripes, the size of the ballparks.
So a run is in, and now Franco dropped from the cleanup spot to number 6 tonight. Went 1 for 3 last night. Hitting just .228 for the year. And the first pitch slider, 0-1.
He just flails at that breaking ball, Franco. Funny hitter. He's hitting .228. You think he would be have no confidence, but he's up there like he's hitting .328.
And he rolls one slowly. In comes Walker, gets the out at second. Relay by Rosario, not in time, and that'll bring in the second run of the inning. Ball just not hit hard enough to turn 2. And so Herrera comes in to score to make it 2-0 Phillies.
Well, you're right about that, Gare. He just did not hit it well enough. Nice move by Rosario, coming inside for the throw. Very nice. Ozzie Smith was great at that. He would be able to read a slide, Gary, late like that and know whether to go. This was back in the day when you can go in and out, left or right. Look at this. He's very nice. It shows the agility right there. And it's a head-on slide. But Ozzie Smith, as I said, was the best at that.
You know what Ozzie would have done? He would have thrown the ball while he was still in the air.
Still in the air, and he was extraordinary. There's no question about it. No one's ever played shortstop like the Wiz.
Tommy Joseph takes a high strike. Joseph hitting 7th in the order tonight, 1 for 3 last night. So the Phillies, who got shut out last night, have scratched a couple here in the first. Hoskins now at third, Franco at first with 2 out. And Lugo trying to put this inning to bed after 3 hits and a walk. And he bounces one that Rivera smothers. A ball and a strike.
Well, runner on third. Everything done well there. On his toes, as he should be.
Lugo 20 pitches deep into this first inning. 1-1 to Joseph. And he jams him and it's pulled foul.
Oh, that got Reyes. That got him.
So few balls get hit into the dugouts these days that I think it comes as a surprise to the guys when one finds the openings.
He was sitting at the top step next to Tom Goodwin. I think it caught him.
He's okay. By the way, Tom Goodwin's got a new number tonight.
That's right.
We're in number 88. Curveball foul back. He had been wearing 22, but he had promised Dom Smith in spring training that if Dom made the team, that he would give him number 22. And Tom said he's always admired Lynn Swann, so that's why he took 88.
Lynn Swann.
Yeah.
I played against Lem Swann in high school. How about that?
Really?
Yeah. He was at Sarah. He went to Sarah, which was where Jeffries came from, and Tom Brady.
Did you have to
and
cover
Barry
him?
Bonds? No, I got a picture of him taking him baseline.
That's lined into left field, and Joseph has a base hit, and that'll bring in the 3rd run of the inning. Hoskins comes in to score. Tommy Joseph a 2-out RBI, and the Phillies have put a 3 spot up against Seth Lugo in the first.
Breaking ball bedeviling Lugo. Didn't get on top. It put it in a good spot, but too flat. And right on top of the plate, you see Joseph can cover that outside corner.
55 RBIs for Tommy Joseph. And a lot of people asked why the Phillies didn't just move Joseph aside and play Hoskins at first, but that's why, because Joseph's been a productive hitter for them this year. I'm not sure exactly where he's going to fit down the road, because they do think Hoskins is eventually going to be the first baseman. Joseph, remember when they got him from the Giants in the Hunter Pence deal, he was a catcher. But he suffered so many concussions they eventually had to move him out from behind the plate. Now the number 8 hitter, the catcher of the future for the Phillies, Jorge Alfaro. We got him in that Cole Hamels trade 2 summers ago. Just his 2nd start of the season and just the 6th of his career. He's hitting .241 in AAA this year, but they think he's going to be a better hitter than that.
Well, he was another one from the Cole Hamels trade, that big trade that the Phillies in Texas had back on what, June 31st, 2015, not 1915. Geez.
Then he'd be really old.
That would be back in the days of Shoeless Joe.
He probably wouldn't be able to play anymore. And that fastball just misses, and now Lugo behind 2-0. So it's not coming easily for Lugo in this first inning. He's already given up 3 runs and 4 hits. Franco at second, Joseph at first with 2 down, and the pitcher Pivetta now on deck. And Alfaro takes a strike, 2-1. You got a rookie home plate umpire tonight, Roberto Ortiz. First time we've seen him behind the plate.
Very emphatic. Well, there's the crew today.
Jeff Nelson, the crew chief, working at third tonight.
He was very emphatic calling the foul balls over at first base last night.
Yes, he was. Made his presence felt.
I like that. I like a little mustard out there with the calls.
You know, we should probably mention the passing of Ken Kaiser, who died just this week.
American League umpire.
You knew Ken from your Cleveland days?
I like Ken. He was okay. He was noted for his hot temper, right? But I had no issue. Well, I hardly ever played in Cleveland, so I couldn't get in trouble.
If he'd stayed a little longer, maybe you would have worked that out.
That was finished.
That was trouble enough.
It's terrible when you know you can't play anymore, you know?
Just saw a video the other day of your last big league home run as an Indian.
Off of Mel Stottlemyre's son.
In Toronto, right?
Yeah, in Toronto, Todd Stottlemyre. I'm telling you, Mel's son threw bullets.
Curveball strikes out Alfaro, and the inning finally comes to an end. But not before the Phillies put up 3 runs and 4 hits against Seth Lugo. 3-0 Phils after 1. Every night, every device. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live. Plus, get a free subscription to At Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Traffic moving nicely around Philadelphia. Michael Conforto leads off the second inning. Michael, in his first game of the season as a cleanup hitter last night, hit an opposite field 3-run homer. His 24th of the year. He also walked twice. Continues to get on base at a high rate. Moved out of the leadoff spot last night.
That's why I like him in the third position, Gary, because not only does he hit and hit with power and drive in runs, he gets on base. And really, to me, I've said Cespedes is your cleanup hitter.
And for the second straight inning, Pivetta falls behind his first hitter 3-0. Flores waiting on deck. Dom Smith behind him. So Smith will get his first big league at bat in this inning. There's a strike. Porcelita aboard. Home run since the All-Star break. Giancarlo Stanton has been on an incredible tear. The only hitter with more than Conforto. Contreras, by the way, out 4 to 6 weeks now with a hamstring. Conforto drives one deep center field. Back goes Herrera. Back near the wall. It's out of here. Michael Conforto strikes again. His 25th home run of the year. And the Mets are on the board. It's now 3-1 Phillies. Wow. Hit it to the deepest part of the ballpark.
Wow. I'm just every day, and I just like him, Gary, keeping his sights up the middle, not getting into pull mode. Got a sinker ball pitcher, heading the count. He's going to run a sinker up at you. And look how strong he is to the opposite field. He is just coming into his own. And to think he almost started the season in Las Vegas.
Of his 25 home runs, that's the 9th that Conforto has hit to the left of center field. The only hitter in the major leagues, only left-hand hitter in the major leagues with more is Joey Votto, who plays in a bandbox in Cincinnati and has 10 opposite field home runs. Wilmer Flores has homered each of the last 2 nights. He's been on a bit of a home run tear. Wilmer hit just 7 home runs in his first 72 games, but he now has 7 home runs in his last 17 games.
It's just astounding what Conforto is doing this year.
Well, he has managed to maintain this year what he did the last couple of months in 15 and the first month of 16.
He's up the ante. I mean, this is just a phenomenal year that this young man is having.
Breaking ball hit out to right center. And Herrera goes over to get it. To retire Flores, 1 out. And now the first major league plate appearance for 22-year-old Dominic Smith.
Well, there's Mom.
Mom and his brother are here from LA. It's funny, Dom got the word last night that he was coming up, and between the time that he found out and the time that he got on the plane, his phone broke. He said it might have been the best thing that could have happened, because this way he was not distracted by all the congratulatory texts.
I agree with that.
He takes the curveball for a strike from Pivetta, and it's 0-2. Dom was in a bit of a slump the last few days. He just 176 over his last 9 games, but 330 overall at Vegas with 16 home runs. And he goes down swinging on the slider. Second strikeout for Pivetta, 2 out in the inning.
Well, he's got 3 more cracks, maybe 4. Pretty good breaking ball. I was told by the group, the crew over here that does the Phillies games, that Pivetta doesn't have much of a breaking ball. Well, okay, they said he can't get it over, but he's got a decent breaking ball.
Here's Rene Rivera. Rivera last started on Wednesday against Texas, went 0 for 2. Well, the biggest crimp in Pivetta's year has been the home run ball. He's now given up 18 home runs in 86 innings. True for a lot of pitchers this year. Made his major league debut April the 30th, the hard way in Los Angeles. Acquitted himself pretty well.
Oh, the engine was muffled there. Muffled.
I believe somebody worked on the exhaust system.
Your muffler. Fix it.
Rivera fouls it away, 2-2. It's a redo. They tried to up the ante. I still don't think it's in top gear.
You remember that commercial, don't you?
Nice.
Well, that was a hilarious commercial. That was back in the early 70s, wasn't it?
You're not going for the branding? Rivera foul tips it. Held by Alfaro, strike 3. Third strikeout for Pivetta. Mets get on the board as Michael Conforto goes deep again. Left center, over 420 feet away. His 25th. 3-1 Phillies in the second. Home second inning, and the Phillies pitcher Nick Pivetta lines one in the left center that's going to fall for a base hit. Just his third big league hit. And the Phillies are off and running again in the second against Seth Lugo. We are very pleased to be joined from the Mets dugout by Mets outfielder Brandon Nimmo. Brandon, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
You know, we've been wondering, because normally the job of being a bench player, a pinch hitter, falls to a veteran guy.
Yeah.
And it's often been said that it's difficult for a young player who's used to be playing every day to settle into the role that you've gotten into extremely successfully. What do you think has been the key for you?
Well, you know, I really had some good mentors. Kelly Johnson being one of them last year. That's kind of what the Mets got him for, you know, the past 2 years. And I just tried to be a sponge around him, learn his routine, ask Jay Bruce and the veteran guys on that team last year, how do you get ready for these at-bats when you're only getting one either a day or every few days. And so I tried to just be a sponge around those guys, and then Six and K-Long and I came up with a routine that worked and would sometimes have success with, especially in September. So I've just been trying to stick to that, and also you got to get lucky a little bit, and so I've had a little bit of luck on my side and tried to prepare and then let the results take care of themselves.
Tell us some of the advice that Kelly Johnson gave you last year that's been so beneficial for you. Go through it for the fans, your routine.
Okay. Well, some of the advice was just to never be surprised and always just be prepared for any situation. Expect the unexpected, and so we try and just you know, always be ready. Like somewhere around 9 hitters in advance, getting our routines down, getting stretched out. You never want to be caught off guard, because then that's a chance when you can waste an AB. And then as far as my routine, I try to go and get on the machine. Nice. I try to go and get on the machine and get my my bat speed up to game speed. For me, that's really important, is that I need to be ready for that best fastball out there. And once I'm ready for that, then I can adjust off of that. But just trying to get the bat speed up to game speed, and then I go out and around 3 o'clock when the pitchers are doing their thing, I try and go out and watch bullpens consistently so that I kind of stay in that game motion, the rhythm of the game a little bit. Obviously, they're not going 100% at that time, but it's as close as I can get without actually being in the game, was watching their bullpens, and they've been gracious enough to me to let me go in there and do that. So that's been a lot of fun, to be able to watch them work and let me get in on their bullpens. And then Six gets me ready in the cage by really ramping things up and getting that velocity going.
By the way, some superb concentration skills you're showing off in the face of a relentless barrage from Asdrubal Cabrera.
I know, he's really getting after me right now, but it's all in good fun.
Now, a lot of times when people talk about pinch hitting, they talk about being very aggressive and going after the first pitch near the strike zone, and you've taken a very different approach to pinch hitting. Is that by design?
I think it's just the type of hitter that I am. That's another thing about, you know, trying to be successful with this, is not trying to be something you're not. Just be yourself. And so what I've just tried to do is, I agree with that. I mean, you need to be aggressive. You don't want to let pitches go by that you can handle, but I trust my strike zone, and so I trust my eye. And like I said, if I'm ready for that best fastball, then I feel like I'm going to make decent decisions most of the time. And so I try to just be aggressive on good pitches to hit. And so that could be somebody that could be you know, the first that could be the first pitch, it could be the last pitch of the AB. I don't know, but I need to be ready for the first pitch to be the one.
So when you say that you go and get your back speed up and go on the machine, you go inside the cage?
Yeah,
and you get it up close?
Very, very lucky. Yeah, very lucky to have that opportunity now. Most visitor clubhouses, and our home one has a cage, and I can go back in there, turn that machine up, and get that bat speed going, and have Six get really close to me and throw as hard as he can, and I just try and be as short and compact as possible.
So basically, what is there any kind of gauge to the miles per hour?
I have no clue. I try to make it. I try to make it, as fast as I'll hopefully see. But every machine's different. Sometimes you get some smaller machines. Sometimes you get the nice big ones. But I don't know. I just try and gauge it by trying to get something that looks like it's in the high 90s reaction-wise. So I don't know all the time. I'm just trying to get the highest miles per hour or the shortest reaction time that I can.
One more question. When do you first put the bat in your hand once the game starts?
It really depends on the starting pitcher. If he's doing well, then like Jake last night, it wasn't until like the 6th inning. But if the pitcher is having a tougher time, then I've had times when I've gone in there in the 2nd, 3rd inning and been getting ready the rest of the game after that. So you also have to, keep your swings under control. You can't just go in there and just swing. There has to be purpose to it, and you have to save them.
I just want to ask one more. I know all the fans, many of them realize that you're the first rounder ever from the state of Wyoming, and you finally got a chance to play close to home in Colorado. What was that like?
It was amazing. I had like around 30 to 50 people there between family and friends every game. And that was something special for me because we did watch the Rockies a lot growing up. It was always on in my house, and to be able to play at Coors Field, that was somewhere I went probably once a year until I was around 12 and couldn't make it because of baseball. But it's where I got my first big league baseball. I remember a bullpen catcher tossed it up to me, and I missed it the first time, and then I caught it the second time, and that was something really special to me and something I've tried to keep with myself as I interact with fans, to every stadium we go to. But it was extremely special, and just to be able to get in that bat out there, kind of make another little dream come true, was a blast.
Well, that's fantastic, Brandon. Great job, and survival of the fittest in that dugout. That's
I know it's all in good fun. We have real good team chemistry here and real good guys, so that's just fun.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Continued success. Brandon Nimmo joining us from the Mets dugout. We appreciate his time. What a delightful kid.
Yes, he is.
2-2 to Odubel Herrera, and Lugo trying to put this inning to bed and runs a full count. Leadoff single by the pitcher Pivetta. He's still there with 2 out. Boy, between Asdrubal Cabrera and Tom Goodwin, that was a marvelous job of keeping his composure. He is give him a little fist bump.
He is a delight.
Now Pivetta will be running on the 8th pitch of the at bat coming to Herrera. Herrera keeps the at bat alive. Herrera drilled a double to right field, extended his hitting streak to 14 games in the first inning. Nothing's come easily to Seth Lugo so far tonight. Two, and Herrera takes inside. Terrific turn at bat for Odubel Herrera, who was down in the count 0-2 and works out a walk. Second one given up by Lugo tonight.
Tried to come inside and bend it around, just missed.
So now Rhys Hoskins, who drew a walk and scored a run in the first inning. Hoskins last night, his first 2 big league at bats, struck out and grounded into a double play, but he walked in his last at bat last night and another walk in his first at bat tonight. And this is one of the things the Phillies liked about Hoskins, is that he not only hits for power, but he also has good patience at the plate, and they think he'll have a high on base percentage. He takes the first pitch curve for a strike. Hoskins, 24 years old, 5th round pick out of Cal State Sacramento in 2014. Same draft that produced Michael Conforto. smothers another one. It's 1-1. "28 pitches in the first inning for Seth. This will be his 20th pitch of the second inning. With 2 out and 2 on. And Hoskins takes a fastball for a strike, and it's 1-2.
Well, let's see if he can put them away. So many times in this course of this season and over the years, recent years, the pitcher's getting ahead, and lo and behold, you got a 3-2 count.
Curveball fouled off. Hoskins drove in 91 runs in AAA this year in 115 games. He has been a run producer.
Well, that's
Pete McCannon put him in the cleanup spot tonight, just his second big league game.
well, he's 91 runs batted in the minor leagues when you play less games, and he's been called up early. That's enormously productive.
Philly writers asked Pete McCannon about putting Hoskins cleanup tonight. He said, "One thing I know, he won't be scared." So here's his spot with 2 out and 2 on. And Lugo strikes him out with a slider to end the inning. Third strikeout for Seth. Well, Brandon Nimmo with a heroic performance in the face of an onslaught. Look at that concentration. That's how you become a good pitch hitter. Debut tonight and taking the number 22, which has been a pretty productive number in Mets history. Some famous numbers: 22 for the Mets, Don Clendenon, hero of the 1969 World Series.
That's the one I remember the most. There's another one coming up right there.
Ray Knight,
that
hero
home
of the 1986 World Series.
That home run got him the World Series MVP, and not a bad player right there either.
Kevin McReynolds. And then Al Leiter, to me, he's the most associated with number 22. Such a phenomenal force on that pitching staff for so long. And some others who wore the number: Eric Young won a stolen base championship. Jose Valentin, big part of the 06 Mets, as was Xavier Nady.
Is that Bob Moorhead that used to pitch for the Red Sox back in the Monbouquet days?
Yeah, and he was the first one to wear it. Jack Fisher, who had some interesting years for the Mets. Mike Jorgensen, local kid from Bayside High School. Line to center field by Rosario, and he's got a base hit to start the third inning. So Ahmed, who took an 0 for last night, has his 6th major league hit. And the Mets get the leadoff man on. The one guy we did not put on that list of number 22s. As you watch Rosario line that fastball for a base hit. Back in I think it was 64, the Mets had a young player who they really regarded very highly, named Greg Goosen, and his presence led to one of Casey Stengel's greatest quotes of all time.
I think I remember this quote.
Casey was asked in spring training about Greg Goosen, and Casey said in his inimitable fashion, "Well, Greg Goosen, he's 20 years old, and in 10 years he's got a real good chance to be 30." Lugo gets the bunt down. So as Casey opined, Greg Goosen was not long for the major leagues.
I guess Casey didn't agree with the front office.
Guess not. There's Curtis Granderson. See, you can't say stuff like that today. You're the major league manager.
That would hurt your feelings.
Right. And you're not allowed to hurt the players' feelings anymore. Rosario at 2nd and 1 out. Granderson popped up his first time up. Three infielders on the right side against Curtis. And he pulls that one right to Joseph. And Rosario gets back. 2 out.
Nice base running by Rosario, not getting doubled up. And that is all about knowing where the defenders are. You always want to look around, check your outfielders. Everybody always thinks in terms of, well, look and see where your outfielders are. But also have a sense of where the infielders are, and particularly in today's game with all these shifts.
So now Neil Walker, who popped up his first time up. And now 2-0. Neil was not the happiest of campers in the Mets clubhouse before the game tonight, after reports came out last night about how supposedly the Yankees had turned down a deal for him before the deadline because of medical issues. First of all, he wasn't happy that anybody had written about it or that it was reported, but you can understand why. He's going to be a free agent at the end of the year, and he certainly doesn't want anybody to think that there are long-term medical concerns. And he made his point to all the beat reporters who had promulgated the story last night. And he takes a strike 3-1.
Well, you've got two guys that need to play on the infield who are free agents and need to show their goods, and that's Cabrera and Walker.
Reyes too.
Yes,
they're all free agents at the end of the year. And it's a difficult situation right now because with Smith and Rosario here, you basically have 4 guys, including Wilmer Flores in that, for 2 spots. And how that's going to present itself on a nightly basis remains to be seen. You would think that Walker and Cabrera would play a lot because the Mets are still trying to trade them. There's ball 4 and Walker's on. First walk given up by Pivetta. So the Mets have the tying runs on base with 2 out, and NYN AT PHI is coming up. Cespedes struck out in the sliders first time up. All the talk about guys who are not going to be here next year, Cespedes clearly is one who is going to be, And he is really wrestling through what has been a very difficult season.
Yes, it has. He's missed a lot of time with the legs. And I don't think he'll be doing those 500-pound squats anymore.
But even since coming back from the leg injuries, he just has never gotten into any kind of groove.
He showed signs of sparkle and hasn't been able to maintain.
Just missed a ball and a strike. How important do you think it is for Cespedes to have a strong last 7 weeks of the season?
Well, it would be nice. I don't think it's imperative. I mean, he's got a body of work, Gary. And my feeling is any good hitter that has an off year will come back with more incentive to have a bounce back year. So sure, it would be nice. But really right now, looking ahead, next season's where it's at. He just doesn't look as aggressive. It seems a little, you know, when you're not feeling good and you're not in a rhythm, and there you see his career highs. And he's had numerous seasons, more than a few seasons of home runs and RBIs. But it just seems to me, Gary, he's just not in rhythm. Even when he takes a pitch like that, he looks a little off balance, you know?
Right. It's the balance thing, right?
So,
I mean, it just looks like he's off balance and lunging all the time.
Those are the things. I mean, people see a swing and miss, and they look at the 0 for 4s in the paper and the swings and misses. It's not. It goes beyond that. It's how you take pitches, how you look when you take pitches, as well.
2 out, 2 on, 2-2 to Cespedes. And he cracks one to deep left field. That ball is gone. A monstrous 3-run homer off the bat of NYN Cespedes to turn this game around. And the Mets go in front 4-3. Well, he certainly looked like he had good balance there, Keith.
And I tell you what, a very short, compact swing. Not much rhythm, just squared it up, and that's how strong he is.
13th home run of the year for Cespedes. And it was crushed.
Right down the pipe upstairs. And he knew it.
Well, the Mets hit 4 home runs last night. They've already hit 2 home runs tonight. And the Mets go in front for the first time 4-3. Here's Conforto, who hit the first Met home run this evening, his 25th of the year. And that's going to feel good for Cespedes.
He didn't really generate any lower body into this. That's just how incredibly strong he is. I think what I think he's doing, Gary, is that he doesn't feel rhythmic. He's trying to stay back and wait as long as he can and just be as quick as he can at the last moment. When you're red hot, you can get like a locomotive getting started from a stop, where that mechanism has to go back first, then forward before you can go. That's when you're red hot.
Conforto lifts one to left, and Hoskins surrounds it. That retires the side, but Cespedes with a 3-run homer to put the Mets in front. Mets continue to hit bombs at Citizens Bank Park. 4-3 in the third. Park right up to the moment statistics over the last 6 years. Mets have dominated the Phillies in every respect in this ballpark. Home runs, hits, total bases, plus 103 runs in only 51 games. That is just obliterating.
That's a whooping.
So Seth Lugo with the lead for the first time. He gave up 3 in the first, but the Mets have pushed him in front with Conforto and Cespedes going deep. And we'll see if Lugo can get settled in after throwing 50 pitches in the first 2 innings. Nick Williams pulls one on the ground past Smith and into right field. And Nick Williams is 2 for 2.
Well, this looks like it's shaping up to be a battle of the bullpens. Both starters struggling there. Smith to his right.
So Nick Williams aboard. The 6th hit already against Lugo in 2 innings plus. And now Michael Franco drove in a run with the fielder's choice his first time up. And that one finds the inside edge, 0-1. We talked last night about the number of prospects the Phillies have in their system, guys who've already been called up like Nick Williams and Rhys Hoskins. Franco was supposed to be the first wave of that group and got off to a great start 2 years ago. Didn't like that call by the rookie home plate umpire Roberto Ortiz.
Yes, Roberto. Bad call.
But Franco's production has fallen off, and it really has raised questions as to whether he is going to be part of this Phillies team when they take the next step forward. Foul back this way and out of play.
He's always been a guy with a long swing, Gare, and he's all or nothing. He chases bad pitches, and he hasn't shown that he's made the adjustments. He's still the same hitter. Either you learn
since the Phillies won the World Series in 2008, they've taken many steps backwards.
Well,
and what they've been able to do is turn some of their veteran players into prospects, and that wave of prospects is now, they hope, sending them in the other direction as Franco pulls one down the line, just foul.
Well, if you look at that graphic, in 2012 they finished 500. Ball just foul there. That was trouble in River City right there. That was the last year they finished at 500 or above in 2012. Ever since, they've been an under 500 team.
They were guilty of holding on to some of their veteran players too long, guys like Utley and Rollins and especially Ryan Howard. But they finally found religion a couple of years ago, and they traded guys like Hamels and Papelbon and Ken Giles, and they turned those guys into multiple prospects, and they're starting to reap some of the rewards of that. Obviously their record this year isn't good, but their trend line appears to be headed in the right direction in terms of having the prospects to try and push them forward.
But the one thing about baseball, there's, of all the sports, your highly touted prospects are no guarantee of success.
Well, the key is to have enough prospects, because they're not all going to click. 3-2 coming, foul back. Matt Klentak is now the general manager, who has taken the reins of trying to rebuild this Phillies team. Ninth pitch of the at bat to Franco, and he drills that foul. And Lugo having to throw a lot of pitches early in this game.
I'll say.
Tommy Joseph hitting 7th in the order tonight, waiting on deck.
A little muggy tonight.
There's rain on the way. Supposed to get rain later tonight and good part of the day tomorrow. And that's in there for a call, strike 3. And Franco goes away an unhappy customer. 4th strikeout for Lugo, the first out of the inning.
Well, this is the one that hangs right over the middle of the plate, and you just didn't pull the trigger. How many times that has happened? Gosh, if I had stayed in, that ball was right in the wheelhouse.
But if ifs and buts for candies and nuts.
You're very snide.
No, I was trying to be optimistic. Turning a negative into a positive, making lemonade out of lemons.
Well, sometimes the noise in this park, I have a hard time hearing that wonderful voice of yours. That rich, deep. Where are you, a tenor? I don't know. What the heck are you?
I don't know, but maybe that's a good thing for you not being able to hear. Think of it in those terms.
Excuse me.
Tommy Joseph tops 1 foul, and it's 1-1. Well, tonight's Verizon trivia question: who was the last Met to hit a home run in his major league debut? So this isn't first at bat we're talking about. This is major league debut.
First game.
I remember the last to hit one in his first at bat. But first game, I'm not sure.
I have no recollection. I find my mind, Gary, kind of drifting off sometimes. I'm getting older, you know.
Good slider by Lugo, 1-2. Well, we're all getting older.
Yes, we are.
Even the young people are getting older.
I got one coming up right around the corner. 2 months.
Well, first we got Ronnie next week.
That's right.
He never works on his birthday. Have you noticed that? That's drilled to deep left center field. And that ball will short hop the wall. Williams digging for third. He's being waved around, and he'll come home with the tying run. Tommy Joseph with an RBI double, and we're back even at 4. Second RBI hit of the night for Tommy Joseph, and he shellacked that.
Let's see what he threw him here. Fastball not in enough, right down the middle. And this takes a funky bounce off the wall. I think it hit the seam, the vertical seam. No, it didn't. It did not take a funky bounce. And Williams, we know, you can see right there, he can run. And that's what we need more of. We need a lot more speed in this game.
So Joseph 2 for 2, a single, double, 2 RBIs, 4-4 game in the third. And here's Jorge Alfaro, who struck out his first time up. Alfaro, just 24 years old, native of Colombia. He was part of that Hamels deal 2 summers ago. The Phillies also got Jared Eichhoff, who was an important part of their rotation in that trade from Texas. Well, kind of game we're going to have tonight, Keith.
Pierre, I have no clue, but I did say earlier it was shaping up for a bullpen game.
Isn't every game a bullpen game? Curveball smacked into left. That's a base hit. Joseph goes to third. He'll be held up there. And so the hits just keep on coming. Jorge Alfaro with a base hit to put runners at first and third with 1 out.
Hanging breaking ball, and Lugo's getting racked. And early in before the game today, we had talking with Terry Collins. You know, with Fernando Salas gone now, the bullpen's a little short.
Salas was designated for assignment to make room for Dom Smith, which was a little bit of a surprise. Figured that maybe Nimmo would go down, but the Mets now going with 7 relievers and 5 bench players, which they had not for a while. Josh Smoker will go to work in the Mets bullpen.
Yeah, we both thought that Nimmo was going to go down, and just because he needs to play every day.
Right.
And then you don't know what's going to happen. You call him back up September 1st, or if there's a trade, maybe Granderson goes. Then it opens up a spot where Nimmo can come up and at least be ready to play every day.
Now Pivetta, who had a base hit his first time up, he's just 3 for 31 in his rookie season, and no hint of a bunt on that first pitch.
Well, not with first and third. Although they could.
A lot of teams don't want their pitcher to swing here because they fear the double play.
Yep.
That takes you out of the inning. But he does swing and tops it foul, and it's 0-2. What has become very popular in these situations is the safety squeeze. Problem with the safety squeeze in this spot is you've got a very slow runner at third base with Tommy Joseph. And the curveball strikes out Pivetta, and that's the second out. So 5 strikeouts now for Lugo, and 2 out in the inning. And now Cesar Hernandez has been up twice and hit the ball hard twice. Singled to center in the first and then lined out to right field in the second. And Rivera will flash signs to the infield. But again, you've got a couple of slow runners on base. Joseph at third, Alfaro at first. They're not likely to be doing any running.
No, they're going to let Hernandez swing the bat.
Change up to start him off for ball 1. Still waiting on a rain delay in Washington.
Oh,
that's not a good thing because, you know, weather comes in this direction. Off the corner, and it's 2-1.
Washington's had, well, everybody's had a lot of rain this year. It's just been one of those springs and summers with a lot of moisture everywhere.
Hernandez takes it high, and now Lugo's behind 3-1. Lugo generally doesn't walk people. Only 16 walks in 63 innings coming into the night, but he's already walked 2 tonight. And now behind a good hitter, Hernandez, 3-1. And that's on the corner with the changeup, 3-2.
Well, what new? I've been saying all along, this league now is, you're not going to get, well, not very often are you going to get a fastball behind the count. It's pretty obvious.
Alfaro gets set to run. Smith will play behind him, and the 3-2 breaking ball, he just got a piece of it to stay alive. City probables the remainder of this series. Steven Matz against Aaron Nola, who's been the best for the Phillies so far this year. Chris Flexen coming off his first big league win goes up against Zach Eflin, recently back from the minor leagues. That's Sunday.
Boy, Matz has been having a hard time of it.
Hard to figure too. Again, the 3-2 to Hernandez, and he walked him, and the bases are loaded. 3 walks in less than 3 innings for Lugo, and Dan Warthen's going to trudge out to the mound again. Smoker's been up. Looks like he's ready if needed. And Lugo just shaking his head, unable to command tonight, and he's already given up 8 hits and 3 walks in 2 2/3 innings. Fortunate to still be in this game. We'll get Freddie Galvis here with the bases loaded. And if he doesn't get Galvis, that might be it. Galvis is 0 for 2. He's hit into a fielder's choice and struck out. 0 for 5 in the series. So Lugo in a make or break spot. 4-4 game in the third. Bases loaded, 2 out. And Galvis' first pitch swinging fouls it away. Galvis takes a hack at the changeup, and it's 0-2. Lugo on the edge of getting out of this mess. And he strikes out Galvis to end the inning. 6 strikeouts in 3 innings for Lugo. It's been the upside, downside, all the base running. 3 hits and a walk in that 3rd inning, but he limits the damage to 1 run. We're tied at 4 after 3. Across from Pat's and Gino's, the 2 great steak places that compete with each other. They've got the basketball court, which is a good thing because you need a lot of physical activity to work off the cheesesteaks.
Yes, you do.
Personally, I put in my plugs for Jim Steaks rather than Pat's or Gino's. But it's a good competition.
Okay.
Are you a cheesesteak guy?
No, I'm not.
Are you allowed within the borders of the city of Philadelphia saying that? You know, they're very parochial about their cheesesteaks.
Well, I'm very careful when I leave my hotel room.
Well, the Flores fouls went straight down 1-2. I wouldn't want your lack of cheesesteak loving and appreciation to get out to the wider population here. They might give you a hard time. I mean, fortunately, this broadcast is primarily being seen in New York, so, but you never know.
What are you talking about?
I'm just trying to protect you from the population here in Philadelphia that is very partial to cheesesteaks.
I'll add this.
Yeah.
Is that when I had the knee, I put on 20 pounds. I've lost 10 back. I'm trying to lose another 10.
Well, I wasn't talking about the nutritional value of cheesesteaks. Let me be quite clear as Flores strikes out for the first out. Here's Dominic Smith for his 2nd big league at bat. Here's his first one on G pitch cast.
Oh, he took a first pitch fastball down the middle. That's fine. Settle in. The backdoor curve I thought missed. Okay, now you're in a hole. And then he fished after a bad one. Hey, it's 1 bat. Throw it away. Let's go. Let's get that first knock here. I think he'll be swinging if he gets the first pitch fastball in this at bat. He's seen all of his pitches.
And he gets the breaking ball to start him off for ball 1. takes a strike. 1-1. I mean, 330 in AAA with a 386 on base percentage.
Widespread stance.
Takes his first hack and fouls it back. 2-2. Tonight's quote of the game presented by Investors Bank, banking in your best interest. Terry Collins says, I hope he's the MVP for the last 2 months.
Certainly.
It's a good aspiration.
Terry's a little under the weather. He's got a cold.
Reached for and fouled. And the curveball bounced toward the middle, and that's going to go through for Dominic Smith's first major league hit. And they'll take that ball out of play and save it for the trophy case. And Mom could not be more elated.
Breaking ball. Outside corner. Stayed back. Up the middle. He is widespread up at the plate as far as his legs or his feet are concerned.
So the Mets have their fourth hit. Rene Rivera hits one to Galvis. The backhand flip, and Hernandez does the rest. Freddie Galvis showing off his range and starting the 6-4-3 double play to end the inning. Galvis plays a spectacular short, and Hernandez with a nice play in the middle as well. The bare hand and the turn. Smith, his first major league hit, and that got him appreciation from his teammates who have all been there before.
Very nice.
And now that Dom has his hit, that frees up his mom to talk to Steve Gelb. Steve.
That's right, Gary, with his mommy Ved LaFleur here, and he just got some hugs from his teammates. Dom did after the first hit, but I'm sure there's going to be a big hug waiting for him after the game. What was that moment like watching his first major league hit?
Oh, it was exciting. It was everything that I dreamed that it would be.
You know, Yvette, we talk so much about what the moment is like for the actual player when he gets called up, but what have these 24 hours been like for his mother?
It's just been amazing. Seeing him actually live out his dream, it's just truly been a blessing. It's been emotional, and it's been exciting, and it's been everything and more that I thought that it would be.
Was there any moment where you were wondering where he was, though, because we heard that he broke his cell phone and couldn't get in touch with anybody? So were you thinking maybe your son was big leaguing you already?
No, was no doubt that he was on his way to Philadelphia. Whether I talked to him or not, I know he was going to be here. If I, you know, even if he didn't have a phone, I know I could reach him at this stadium at some point today.
Well, Yvette, you know, you had a really unique situation with Dom, because you not only were his mother from afar, but up close after he got drafted. You lived with him in Florida. You lived with him in Savannah. You lived with him as well for a little bit in Binghamton. How important was that? He was such a young kid when he got drafted, for you to be there with him, at least in the early stages of his pro career.
Well, with him being so young and with so much in his life changing, we just thought it was important that we kept that, you know, part normal for him. He's used to being around his siblings and, you know, his parents, so we just thought that that would be important if we still kept it, you know, our circle close.
He seems so calm, cool, and collected when we talked to him today. What is his demeanor like behind closed doors, though, and how has that changed since the time he was 18 years old and got drafted in the first round by the Mets?
Dominic is still a big kid. He's very silly, and he's just a big kid. So.
Is he as calm as he made it out, or do you think he's got some nerves?
Oh, I know that he has some nerves, but it's just the way he, you know, shows it, I guess.
Finally, Yvette, you know, we talk to parents all the time about the moment when they knew, when the kid was growing up, that he was so much better than his peers. What was his love of baseball like growing up, and when did it start to stand out to you that he could be something special?
Well, there was certain things that he would do, like put his glove underneath his pillow before he went to bed, or put on a uniform to watch a game, a major league game, and this all he wanted to do was play baseball. That's it. He didn't want to do anything else. He just wanted to play baseball.
Well, I think it was a good choice by him, because here he is at his major league debut. Yvette, we appreciate you giving us a few times on this very emotional and exciting day. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right. Gary, back to you.
Conforto and Cespedes able to smile after avoiding a collision. Cespedes ducked out of the way.
That was Conforto's ball all the way.
You know, it's interesting listening to Dom's mom talk about him, because Dominic was so relaxed and affable in the clubhouse before the game today. You would never have known that the nerves were roiling. One thing he did say, though, I asked him who he called first when he found out last night. He said, I called my mom. He said, I would have called my dad, but my dad talks a lot more than my mom, and I have lots of things to do. So I let her tell him about it. His dad will be in New York when he makes his New York debut next week. So he's a delightful kid, and it's going to be fun to watch him and watch him grow. Nick Williams takes a big cut, and it's 1-2, and Lugo all of a sudden on the edge of having his first easy inning. He's retired the first two here in the fourth after slogging his way through the first three. Williams is 2 for 2, single to left, single to right. He's driven in a run and scored a run. 8 hits against Lugo tonight. He's also walked 3. Sells that one high, 2-2. Lugo has struck out 6, which matches his career high, which is a little odd on a night when everything else has kind of gone haywire for him. Two coming, and the curveball got him looking. Side retired. New career high, 7 strikeouts for Seth Lugo as he sets the Phillies down 1-2-3 after 4, tied at 4. Watch every SNY Mets game on the go on any device all season long with live streaming presented by Verizon. Just download the NBC Sports app or visit SNY.TV. Your new home for live streaming coverage of every SNY Mets game. Ahmed Rosario lined a single to center his first time up and scored in front of Yoenis Cespedes' 3-run homer. Now he bats in the 5th and takes a strike from Nick Pivetta, 1-1. Seth Lugo is on deck. Lugo's threw 93 pitches through 4 innings, but the 4th was his best inning, and he is set to bat. Breaking ball outside from Pivetta, 2-1. Pivetta's given up home runs to Conforto and Cespedes, accounting for all 4 Met runs. And that's lined to left field. Hoskins will have to play it on the hop. It goes off his body. He knocks it down well enough to keep Rosario at first. So the inexperienced left fielder Hoskins unable to make the catch, but prevented it from getting worse by keeping the ball in front of him, and Rosario is 2 for 2.
Good effort right here, and then realizes he can't make the play, just stay in front. Prevents the ball from becoming a double. First time I've seen Rosario turn on an inside pitch with a quick bat. That's a good sign right there. Maybe he's starting to feel more comfortable.
He's 5 for 31 coming into the night, 2 for 2 tonight. Lugo pushes the bunt down to Joseph, and the sacrifice successful. Second sacrifice of the night for Lugo, and his 5th of the year. Moves Rosario to second with 1 out. And Curtis Granderson will come up for the 3rd time. Curtis hit the ball hard his last time up, lined out to the first baseman. This date in baseball history, August 11th, the late Jim Bunning became the first pitcher since Cy Young to win 100 in each league. This date in baseball history presented by Empire City Casino.
He won the other 100 over there, I believe, with Detroit. His career began in Detroit. There's Jim.
The Phillies are doing their Wall of Fame ceremonies tomorrow night, and it's been a difficult year in Phillies history. Jim Bunning passed away. Dallas Green passed away in March, and of course Darren Daulton passed away just this week, and so all 3 of those men will be honored tomorrow night. Because of those ceremonies, the game here will start a half hour later, 7:30 tomorrow night. And Curtis takes a slider low and in, 1-1. It was supposed to be a ceremony to honor Pete Rose tomorrow night. That is no longer the case. Granderson pops one up in the middle of the infield. Franco waiting for it and uses 2 hands to make sure it's 2 out. They were going to put Pete Rose's name on their Wall of Fame and hand out Rose bobbleheads. They're going to do neither after the revelations that Pete has been accused of statutory rape dating back to the 1970s. And so another blemish on Pete Rose's record. You know, they waited more than 35 years for Rose to have some kind of clearance next to his name before they put up that name on their Wall of Fame, after Pete was a big part of their World Series championship in 1980. Looked like they didn't wait long enough. Walker lines with the left for a base hit. Rosario being waved home. Hoskins' throw to the plate is not in time, and the Mets go back in front. Neil Walker with a 2-out RBI hit, and it's 5-4 New York.
Well, Neil starting to get heated up. And the good sign is when you go the other way, backdoor curveball, and that's staying back on that curve nicely. Not rushing out to get it. It took a kind of a funky hop for Hoskins. And he's a first baseman, so his arm is not going to be strong.
And Rosario was barely at third base when Hoskins got it, but Glenn Sherlock did not hesitate to wave him home with his speed.
With his speed and with a first baseman's arm out in left field.
So Rosario scored twice tonight, and the Mets edge back in front. And here's Cespedes, who gave them their last lead with a 3-run homer in the 3rd. And he takes a breaking ball for a strike. 6 from Pivetta, and it's 0-2. And that leads us to our Spectrum high-speed pitch. It's close. Oh, in the dirt. Walker takes off. The throw by Alfaro goes into center field, and Walker will go to third. Now, Jorge Alfaro had no chance to throw out Walker, but he's got a big arm, likes to show it off, and he just big armed it into center field for an error.
Well, absolutely, Gary. No reason to throw this. Terrific block, by the way. Not an easy block, but he had to realize, and that's youthful exuberance. You got no chance to get the runner there when a ball's out in front like that. Just eat it.
So it's a wild pitch, error on the catcher. Runner at third with 2 out. 1-2 to Cespedes. And he takes one the other way for a base hit, and that'll bring in a run. Walker comes in to score the second run of the inning, and it's 6-4 New York. A 4 RBI night for Yoenis Cespedes.
And smart hitting right there. Beat him on a home run for the at bat prior. On a fastball middle in, he's looking away all the way, got a breaking ball and waits nicely and goes the other way.
So a more productive night for Cespedes. Now has 35 runs batted in for the season, and here's Conforto, who has homered tonight. Hit one to the deepest part of the park in left center for his 25th of the year in the second. Then he flied out to left in the third. And that's off the plate to Conforto, 2-0.
Well, there's the contact. Remember, Garrett, we have been seeing the contact off the end of the bat on the ball away. There he got more barrel. Still got some work to do. That ball was around 3 inches, 4 inches off the end of the bat. Needs to get more into the fat of the bat.
And now Pivetta falls behind Conforto 3-0. The Phillies bullpen is cranking, with Pivetta now having allowed 6 runs and 7 hits tonight. Jason Terrian, who we saw last night, who got roughed up. In fact, he gave up the home run to Conforto last night, and he is on call again. And Michael takes a strike, 3-1.
Just can see why the ERA is coming into this game is at almost 6. I'm sure after this outing it's going to be over 6 for Pivetta.
And there's ball 4, so Conforto draws a walk. That's the second walk given up by Pivetta, and it prolongs the inning and brings Flores to the plate.
McCannon's going to let him get through this inning. I certainly hope so. Let him get out of it. Nope, he's going to yank him.
Well, he had 2 out and a runner at second, but Walker took one the other way for a run scoring hit. And then after the wild pitch, Cespedes again went the other way to drive in a run.
Well, we mentioned earlier that Pivetta has been a guy with a good start, a bad start, a good start. Well, he's coming off a bad start. Well, he's doubled up on 2 bad starts here. His ERA has soared to 6.19.
So he's out of the game after 4 2/3. Called to the bullpen, brought to you by Verizon. That's some very quick math, by the way, Keith. I'm very impressed. We'll be right back to Philadelphia.
I have my moments.
Intersection of Market Street and Broad Street, Philadelphia City Hall, the largest, most expensive, tallest city hall in the nation, with William Penn
at the top,
standing atop it.
Remember all those years they did in cleaning it up back in the 80s, I believe, and it was just a spectacularly beautiful building. There's Bill.
For years, they would not allow a building taller than the brim of Billy Penn's hat. Wilmer Flores up against Jason Terrien, the Montreal native, in for the second straight night.
Oh, he got racky-tacked last night. 3 runs in 1 inning, gave up the 3-run bomb to Conforto.
I think that's going on the next list.
What?
Keithisms. Racky-tack.
Racky-tack. We love that one. I love it.
Flores tonight has flied out and struck out 0 for 2. Cespedes at second, Conforto at first with 2 down. 2 runs home in this 5th inning. Mets have regained the lead 6-4. And Wilmer cranks one to deep left field, but Hoskins has it lined up, and that retires the side. Mets settle for the 2 runs. RBIs for Walker and Cespedes halfway through it, 6-4 New York. Back in front 6-4. Seth Lugo back out there to face Maikel Franco. Pops up the first pitch he sees, and Dom Smith will come in to take charge of it for the first out. 1 pitch and 1 retired for Lugo in the home 5th. Well, it's been a survivor kind of a night for Lugo. Gave up 3 runs in the first inning, stranded a couple in the second, gave up a run and stranded the bases loaded in the 3rd. But now refortified with the lead. He's retired 5 in a row and trying to get through the 5th and qualify for a victory. Can't imagine he'll go beyond 5, but already at 94 pitches.
Give me 6.
Not going to happen, Keith.
Think of your bullpen.
Which is up now. Tommy Joseph already 2 for 2. And he takes a changeup for a strike. Joseph is singled and double driven in a pair. Adam Morgan up in the Phillies bullpen, the left-hander. Check swing, and he went around, and it's 0-2. So in that last half inning, right, Walker goes to second on a wild pitch, takes third on an error.
Right.
And then scores on a base hit by Cespedes. Now the official score just said the run is unearned, which means that he doesn't think that Walker with 2 out was going to score from second base on a base hit to right field. Do you agree with that?
I marked it on my scorecard as an earned run. I'm going against. I'm not going with it.
So you're not a by the books kind of guy, even though the official score said unearned. You're writing it down as earned.
Yes, I am.
Is that because you think that he'll change his mind, or because you're trying to?
No, because I think that I'm right.
You're tilting against windmills. Smith catches his second pop-up of the inning, and there are 2 out.
Now, I do realize it's a lot of station to station today. A lot of guys have a hard time scoring on a base hit, remarkably on a ball, on a single from second base.
Oh, with 2 out.
2 out on contact.
Yeah.
It was.
I agree with you. It should have been an earned run.
Come on.
But it helps out Nick Pivetta. Instead of 6 earned runs, he's charged with only 5.
You cannot play favorites, Gare.
Shouldn't. There's Alfaro, the catcher, and he takes a strike. So Lugo has settled into his best groove of the night as he reaches the finish line, about to throw his 100th pitch.
Boy, they're still in a rain delay at Washington, huh? Wow.
That's the Giants and Nationals yet to start.
Cardinals are off hot again. They're red hot.
6 straight wins, a game out of first.
2-0 in the second inning in St. Louis versus the Bravos.
After they swept 4 from Kansas City, really put a crimp in the Royals standing. Kansas City's fallen 4 games out in the AL Central and a game behind in the wild card.
Well, it's that time of year to scoreboard watch.
Alfaro shoots one foul, and it's 1-2. Tomorrow night's game will be on Pix 11. Our next SNY telecast will be the final game of the series, Sunday afternoon, 1:30 start. Pre-game coverage at 1 o'clock. That'll be Chris Flexen's start.
Hoping for
checking the bat, making sure it's not broken.
Hoping for a quick game on Sunday.
Why is that?
I got a train back to New York. I'm not taking the team bus. I'm going to meet my daughter for dinner. I would love to be able to meet her for dinner.
So is the train you're taking the last train, or
No.
is there a train
No,
after
I'm not
the
gonna,
train?
I am going to have to run, get an Uber and get my
Run?
get my fanny to the 30th Street station to make this train.
Okay.
Haven't seen my daughter in a while. It's nice to have my daughter in New York.
Alfaro strikes out, inning over. 8 strikeouts, new career high for Seth Lugo. He's retired 7 in a row. Poor beginning, good finish for Lugo after 5 6-4 men. right, CJ, of course, the big news in Miami today is it looks like they have sold the team. And part of the new ownership group is going to be none other than Derek Jeter. Dom Smith hits a comebacker. And Jason Terrian makes the play for the first out. And Smith is now 1 for 3. Bruce Sherman is the head of the group that is buying the team from Jeffrey Loria, who should make himself a healthy profit on the sale. And Jeter apparently is going to be the CEO.
Wow. So he can't have enough, huh?
Well, it gets him back in the game with an ownership stake. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I heard that Michael Jordan might have a piece of the team as well.
I wouldn't doubt it.
And Rene Rivera. The question is, I guess, does new ownership change the dynamic in Miami?
That remains to be seen.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of public discontent about the way the new stadium was pushed through. Grounded down to third, and Franco behind the bag makes the long throw to get Rivera for the second out. I just wonder, with new ownership and maybe a fresh start down there, maybe attendance increases. Maybe things get a little better for that franchise.
Be curious to see what they do. To me, it's all about winning. Can they turn that franchise around and get it back to winning ball games? They certainly have attendance issues, and they have parking issues there,
yeah,
Gary.
well, they're going to have to fix the parking if they want the attendance to get better. I think that's something that they were a little short-sighted about when they built that place. There are only 5,000 parking spaces and 35,000 seats, and there's no public transportation.
And there's no easy way in and out. And I don't know how they're going to correct that.
1-1 to Rosario. Well, if there's enough parking, the rest of it, I think, will resolve itself. But you also have to get people more interested in the product. Rosario flies one out to right. And Williams is there to grab it. 1-2-3 inning for Terrian. He threw just 6 pitches. Middle of the 6th, 6-4 New York. A homer in his big league debut.
That's
right.
right.
Mike Jacobs is a pinch hitter.
I remember that like yesterday in Arizona, right?
No, it was
No,
at home.
New York.
It was at
Right.
home. Remember, he was going to be sent down. He hit the home run in a lopsided game, and then Pedro Martinez argued for the Mets to keep him.
And he had the big
And
series.
he would go into Arizona and have the big series. Meanwhile, the former Met Ty Kelly, who was just recalled today by the Phillies, is pinch hitting as we start the bottom of the 6th, and lo and behold, Seth Lugo is still out there in the 6th.
Absolutely. He's not tired. He's
Started the inning at 103 pitches, gets the curveball over for a strike, and it's 1-2.
Went on the bus today. The only people on the bus to the ballpark were Josh Lowen and Seth and myself. And Seth's a big, strong kid. He can go 6.
So it was you and Seth and Josh on the bus?
Yes.
Who did most of the talking?
What do you think?
It wasn't you.
It's a radio guy.
And it wasn't Seth.
The radio guys always talk too much.
I've heard that. Kelly hits a ground ball. Walker has it come up for him. And he throws out Kelly, 1 away. That's 8 in a row retired by Lugo. Think about the way this game started for Seth. He gave up 8 hits and 3 walks in the first 2 2/3. That's 11 base runners over the course of the first 7 outs. And now he's retired 8 in a row.
And how many pitches, Gary?
He's at 108 now.
Yeah, I'd love for him to go 7, but he's not. It's not happening. Not in today's game.
It'd be nice if he can finish this 6th. Cesar Hernandez has been on base twice, and he takes the curveball down for ball 1. Well, Lugo, who had been struggling 3rd time through the batting order, this time was brilliant.
Yes.
3rd time through the batting order. And now he gets a 4th turn, or at least the start of a 4th turn. And Hernandez tops one foul, and it's 1-1.
Look at where the on-deck hitter, Freddie Galvis, is. I mean, that to me, I'd have to have a Bull Durham pitch.
Now, remember earlier this season, Jerry Davis threw Adrian Beltre out of a game because he told Beltre to get back in the on-deck circle. And Beltre then took the on-deck circle and dragged it over to where he was. Do you know what the Rangers are doing now?
What?
They're having a promotion where they're giving away mini on-deck circles.
Right. So these kids go to college. Nice. These what would be the degrees?
I think that's marketing genius.
You think it's marketing genius?
Oh, it's marketing genius. It's making
making
lemonade out of lemons again.
What do I want with an on-deck circle?
Well, not for
it's
you.
flat.
It's for the fans. It's for them to display. They can use it as a coaster.
But I mean, look where Freddie is. I mean, that's too good a view.
Well, that's why it made no sense that Jerry Davis made us think about Adrian Beltre, because everybody does it. Everybody stands closer to the plate than the actual on-deck circle.
He is a good 10 feet. He's on the grass. Look at him. You can't do that.
3-2 to Hernandez, and he walked him. It's the 4th walk given up by Lugo, the 2nd one that's gone to Hernandez, and that's going to be it for Seth. At 114 pitches, Terry Collins will pull him after 5 1/3. So he let him start the 6th inning, but after a runner reaches base, and with the switch hitter Galvis and the left-hand hitter Herrera coming up, the left-hander Smoker will come in to relieve Lugo. So quite a recovery by Lugo after a difficult beginning. He leaves with the lead. 6-4 Mets in the 6th. We'll be right back. Remind you to call 811 before any digging project to get the buried utility lines marked. It's a free service and it's the law. Know what's below. Call 811 before you dig. Seth Lugo after 5 1/3. And Josh Smoker in to face Freddie Galvis, who's 0 for 3 tonight. Galvis turning around about right-handed and fouls off the first offering from Smoker. Smoker last pitched on Wednesday afternoon against the Rangers, went 2 innings plus, allowed 5 hits, but somehow only 1 run. There goes the runner. It's slashed down under the glove of Smith and down the right field line. Hernandez didn't read it at first. He goes to third. Galvis in at second, and the Phillies have the tying runs in scoring position. And Dominic Smith unable to come up with a ground ball that appeared to be very playable.
Got under his glove on the backhand. And he's mad at himself. He knows he should have made that play.
Wait to see how they score it. Runners at second and third now. And they apparently have scored that a base hit for Galvis. That is a charitable hit.
I can see that as a home book because it was a backhand. He wasn't in front.
So I guess it's a double.
Yes, it is.
Yep. So second and third and 1 out. And Odubel Herrera, who's 1 for 2 and a walk. And he takes a slider out of the strike zone for ball 1. We're down 3-0, up 4-3. Phillies tied it. Mets got 2 in the 5th to go up 6-4. And now the Phillies threatening in the bottom of the 6th. Infield back. They'll concede 1 run to get an out. And Herrera hits it down to Smith. He knocks this one down. He'll take it himself as Smoker was nowhere in the neighborhood. Smith gets the out. Hernandez scores, and now it's 6-5 New York. A rough inning in the field for Dominic Smith, but that one at least he was able to keep in front of him.
He stayed in front of it. Almost went down a little. First game jitters. Ball just got by you that you should have had, and you're mad at yourself.
And now Terry Collins going to make a double switch. You got right-hand hitter Rhys Hoskins coming up, so he'll bring Paul Sewald into the game. So another pitching change for the Mets here in the 6th inning, now with a 1-run lead. We'll be right back to Philadelphia. moves from third base to first base as Rubel Cabrera comes in to play third. He'll bat ninth, and Paul Sewald will hit in the 6th hole as Dominic Smith comes out of the game.
Sewald had a clean inning of work. He finished up that ball game last night. 1 inning, 2 strikeouts.
Comes in with the tying run at 3rd and 2 out to face Rhys Hoskins, who's looking for his first big league hit. And Hoskins takes a slider for a strike. Hoskins has walked, struck out, and flied out 0 for 2. 0 for 4 to start his big league career. Run home here in the 6th on a walk, a double, and a ground out. A run charged to Lugo, so the book closed on him. Lugo gave up 5 runs and 8 hits over 5 1/3. He walked 4 and struck out a career high 8 batters. Sewald needs a conversation with Rene Rivera. A year where little has gone right for the Mets pitching wise. Sewald has been a very pleasant surprise. To get the Mets out of this inning with the lead. 1-1 to Hoskins. And the slider misses 2-1.
3 straight slide balls. Okay.
That's line to right field. Granderson in front of it makes the catch to end the inning. Hoskins hit it hard, but still looking for his first big league hit. Sewald gets the out. Now the Rhys Hoskins family hoping. Disappointment again. Dominic Smith's major league debut in tonight's game on Mets Block, presented by Citi, featured on SNY.TV. We go to the 7th. Left-hander Adam Morgan is on to pitch for Philadelphia.
Well, another ERA almost in the 6s. I am almost go cross-eyed when I see something like that.
He has given up 9 home runs in 30 innings this year. The Mets certainly have seen plenty of Morgan, and they have Hit a lot of home runs against him. There's Dribble Cabrera up for the first time. Came on in the double switch in the last half inning. Cabrera's been sitting out the last few days. Remember, he tried to steal third base at Citi Field in the series against Texas. Made an awkward slide, landed on his left hand, and that kept him out of action for a couple of days.
Yes. They thought he was available for pinch hitting a couple games ago, but was not. Nice shot. Look at that.
Remember 2 years ago when the Mets set a club record by hitting 8 home runs in a game here at Citizens Bank Park? Well, Adam Morgan started that game. He gave up the first 4 of those 8 home runs.
I'm going to have our director's going to be so kind. He's going to show this. Can't do it. Oh, sorry, not our camera. I love that shot behind home plate they just had up. That was sweet.
We were borrowing that shot.
Oh, it was a tremendous shot. You know, we see so much of the same, angles. Obviously, we try to, but you got to have the center field camera, of course. But it's nice to kind of see a pitch from coming at the camera every once in a while. It gives kind of an idea of what the hitter's battling with.
Well, I know our director, Dan Barr, likes to move his cameras around from time to time.
Absolutely.
Get different angles. Curtis Granderson on deck, then Neil Walker for the Mets in the 7th. And Cabrera shoots one up the middle for a base hit. So no at bats the last 3 days. Cabrera has a base hit his first time up. Mets have their 8th hit of the night. Now Granderson has gone 0 for 3 out of the leadoff spot. Popped up twice and lined out. Morgan, the 3rd Philadelphia pitcher of the night. Nick Pivetta went the first 4 2/3. Allowed 6 runs, 5 earned on 7 hits. And Granderson unloads deep down the right field line, but it's hooking. And it goes foul.
Yeah. Almost put another nickel in the slot machine there, Gary.
Put another nickel in the Nickelodeon. Would have played some sweet music. And Morgan misses with a slider, 1-1.
Oh, there we go. Let's take a look at this pitch.
I like that shot.
He's not a hard thrower.
No. Two and 1 to Curtis. Better slider by Morgan. It's 2-2.
Good location there. You can get an idea, folks, watching that from that angle.
Two coming. Checks the swing. Stopped it in time. 3-2. Jeff Nelson with the call.
Did not swing. Curtis is pretty well. He did not even close there. Just not enough guys pitch inside today.
3-2, nobody out. Cabrera at first. Morgan will check in on him. Granderson has a home run in his career against Morgan, 1 for 4. Pretty much everybody on the Mets team has a home run against Morgan. Looking up and down the roster.
You don't have to show me the paper. I trust you.
Thank you, Keith. Your trust is Greatly appreciated. Granderson takes strike 3 call, and he knew it. And that's the first out of the inning.
Well, after the sliders, he drops the hammer on him. And let's see. Too close to take, I guess. Certainly with Roberto Ortiz behind the plate, he thought it was a strike.
Which is all that matters. 1 out and 1 on. Here's Walker. He's walked and singled tonight. He's driven in 1. He scored 2 after his 4-hit night last night. So Neal appears to be turning a corner. In his 6 weeks with a hamstring injury, struggled mightily after coming back, and now has put a couple of good days in a row together. By the way, that night 2 years ago, the Mets hit 8 home runs. Flores had 2. David Wright, Juan Lagares, Travis d'Arnaud, Michael Kadire, Daniel Murphy, and then the record setter, the 8th home run, was Yoenis Cespedes. 16-7 was the final score that night. I'm sure you remember it well.
Yes. Maurice Chevalier.
I remember it well. Morgan behind on Walker, 2-0. And Neal hits a chopper. Galvis in, goes to second and gets the force there on Cabrera.
Very nice.
Smart play by Galvis, knowing that Cabrera is not running well, was vulnerable, and that's the second out. He can win a chance to take the mound at Citi Field and throw out the first pitch in the Mets' first pitch sweepstakes, presented by SNY and Papa John's. Go to sny.tv/Papa John's and enter today. So 2 out and a runner at first, and now Cespedes has had a big night. 3-run homer in the 3rd. Single to right to drive and a run in the 5th. A 4 RBI night for Yoenis. And 6 runs, 8 hits. The Phillies 5 runs, 9 hits. We're in the 7th. This was in the 3rd.
High fastball. Right down the pipe, and he airmailed that one.
Crushed it. 13th home run. Walker at first with 2 down. And the changeup in for a strike. 1-1.
So Conforto's home run, that's now his, what, 11th, is it, since the All-Star break? Not sure. I thought we had that. He has just been on fire. Yeah, so it's his 11th home run since the break here. He was coming into the game with 10, which was tied for third most. Stanton has 13 since the break. That leads.
14 now.
14.
Hit
so
one tonight.
Yep.
His 40th, by the way.
Wow.
Pulled foul. In fact, for Stanton, that's 19 home runs in his last 31 games. Coming into the night, 18 in his last 30 was the most in a 30-game span since Josh Hamilton 5 years ago. So he has been on one of those tears. Roy Ramos, Asdrubal Cabrera's best friend, is up in the bullpen. Just kidding. That's box score brought to you by New York 811. Cespedes with the big night, 3-run homer and an RBI single. Conforto homering for the 2nd straight night. Walker has the other RBI. 2-2 from Morgan, and Cespedes lifts this one to right. Williams drifting back and puts it away to retire the side. Leadoff hit and 1 left. 7th inning stretch time. 6-5 New York. 7th. Mets holding on to a 6-5 lead. Paul Sewald, who got the final out in the 6th, stays on to start the 7th to face Nick Williams. Williams is 2 for 3 tonight. And Sewald misses away with a fastball for ball 1. Williams, then Maikel Franco and Tommy Joseph for the Phillies in the 7th in a back and forth game. Phillies led 3-0 early against Seth Lugo. Mets came back on home runs by Conforto and Cespedes to go up 4-3. Phillies tied it in the 3rd. Mets regained the lead in the 6th. Phillies scratched one back in the bottom of the 6th, and now it's 6-5. And a fastball away, 2-1. Franco on deck. With his 2 for 3 tonight, Williams has his average up to 299 through 127 big league at bats. 2-2. Williams just 23 years old. He came in that Hamels trade from Texas. They got a big haul in that deal.
They did.
And he struck him out. Sewald with the slider gets Williams for the first down of the inning. So 1 out. Maikel Franco coming up. Let's check in with Steve Gelbs. His report tonight is brought to you by New York 811. Steve.
Well, Gary, A.J. Ramos just appeared in the bullpen, getting himself ready for a potential save opportunity tonight. Of course, he just recently appeared on the scene with the Mets, traded about 2 weeks ago. We're still getting a chance to learn who he is, but the story about right after he got drafted might give a pretty good indication for what type of a person and competitor A.J. Ramos is. He was a 21st round pick of the Marlins in 2009, and when he got the call saying he was drafted, the Marlins said they would pay him $1,000 to sign. His response: "You guys just bought a Lamborghini for $1,000. He then showed up at extended spring trying to find a way to prove it to his new team. So his decision: go up against the first-round pick that year in everything that they did. So if the first-round pick was in the weight room, A.J. Ramos was right next to him, lifting 10, 20 pounds more. If they were running, he would go after it and beat the first-round pick. That was his way of getting on the Marlins' radar. And ultimately, of the first 21 picks of the Marlins that year, he was the first to make the major leagues, the only one currently still in it."
A lot of self-confidence, which is a big part of the equation. You know, when you're a 5'10" right-hander, you tend to get overlooked, and you really do have to prove yourself even more so. 1-2 to Franco, and he fouls it back.
Well, that's one thing about this game. You don't have to be a big, strong guy to make it. Look at Altuve. He's a classic example.
But you look at the pitchers that get signed now, especially the right-handers, and they're all huge. And Ramos was not that guy. One-two on the way, and it's too high. Lubbock, Texas kid who stayed home to play at Texas Tech. And another late round draft pick made good. Just missed. 3-2 to Franco. But Seth Lugo started for the Mets tonight. 34th round draft pick. Grounded toward the hole, and Franco's got a base hit. Hit number 10 for the Phillies.
Let go with one hand on a slider. And I think always say that he's got a long swing. He's got a slider bat speed swing. And
so now the tying run at first with 1 out. And here's Tommy Joseph, who's had a good night. Single and a double. Each one is driven in a run. He's 2 for 3. But also a double play candidate. He's grounded into 18 double plays this year. Only 2 hitters in the National League have grounded into more. fastball, 1-1. One to Joseph. Fly ball to center. Right to Conforto. And that's the second out.
Boy, right down the pipe, and you saw the reaction of Joseph. That was one that he would love to have back.
So now the number 8 hitter, Jorge Alfaro, who's 1 for 3 tonight. Singled in the third, also struck out twice. Seth Lugo started, went 5 1/3, allowed 5 runs and 8 hits, but he's in line for the win. Walked 4, struck out a career high 8. Josh Smoker worked a third of an inning. And now Sewald's worked an inning and trying to get one more out here in the 7th. Franco at first with 2 out. And that's carved out to right, but right to Granderson, and that retires the side. A hit and 1 left for the Phillies in the bottom of the 7th against Paul Sewald. That's still up by a run. Seth Lugo had a rough go of it the first 3 innings, but settled in and worked through 5 1/3 and has a chance for a victory tonight if the bullpen can get him 6 more outs. Nick Pivetta, who held the Mets to 1 hit the first time he faced them, not quite so sharp in this game. Adam Morgan, who pitched the 7th inning, will stay on to start the 8th with Michael Conforto due to lead off. Conforto, Flores, and then the pitcher spot for the Mets in the 8th inning. Conforto got the Mets started tonight. They were down 3-0 when he came to bat in the 2nd and launched a home run into the seats in left center, his 25th of the year and his 2nd in 2 nights. Since then he's flied out and walked, 1 for 2 on the night. And he takes a slider for a strike. 3 infielders on the right side in the, what did you call it, pyramid defense?
Pyramid. That's right. It's going to stick too.
Kind of adhesive.
I mean, if you're going to play Conforto like this, you better not pitch him away.
The other thing about this defense is with the second baseman playing that deep on a slowly hit ground ball, Conforto's got the speed to beat it out.
Yeah, the only one that's going to have a chance to get it is Galvis.
Right.
Cutting across.
And the foul ball at the plate is caught by Alfaro for a foul tip, strike 3. So the second strikeout for Morgan as it gets Conforto for the first out in the 8th. And that's going to be the last batter that Morgan faces, with the right-hand hitter Flores coming up. They do not want the lefty in the game. And so Pete Buchanan's going to make a change and bring in Edebrai Ramos. Hello, Edebrai.
We like your hustle.
See if he stays in long enough to face Cabrera again. Morgan out. 6-5 Mets in the 8th. We'll be right back. Edebrai Ramos on to pitch for the Phillies, facing Wilmer Flores, who's 0 for 3 tonight, and he lifts the first pitch down the right field side. Williams coming over into foul ground, and he runs out of room. It's in the crowd. Daniel Nava has come into play first base on the double switch for the Phillies. There's Ramos and his numbers.
Whoa. Look at
a lot of walks.
22 walks and 33 and a third, 36 hits. Oh man, that is a lot of base runners, and that's why you have yet another ERA above 5.
Out to right field. Williams back onto the track. It's over his head. Not very well played by Williams, but he does play the carom well enough to keep Flores at first base.
Boy, he played that poorly. I think Wilmer was fooled by it, and this ball's got to be caught.
Certainly looked off the bat as though it would be.
I know it hits the base of the fence, but maybe not.
So it's a long single for Flores, and now Brandon Nimmo will bat for the pitcher, hitting the 6th spot in the batting order. Nimmo, who was our guest earlier tonight, talking about his pinch hitting and his approach. Threw a walk as a pinch hitter last night.
Thought he was a terrific interview. Give us some lengthy insights into his preparation.
And he attacks the first pitch and lines it into center for a base hit. So Nimmo just continues to produce coming off the bench. Now 4 for 12 as a pinch hitter.
Didn't wait around there, did he, Gary?
Not this time.
Nope. When I attacked that first pitch. Well done. Oh, look at that. He's got a nice little line drive swing, does he not? And that's why he is so effective off the bench.
Well, 2 batters for Edebry Ramos, 2 hard hits. And now Rene Rivera will come up with 2 men on to try and tack on to the Mets' 6-5 lead. Rivera tonight 0 for 3, struck out and grounded out twice, once into a double play. Flores at second, Nimmo at first with 1 out. Each team now with 10 hits. And Rene takes a slider for a strike. And the dirt and blocked by Alfaro, 1-1. And that slider in for a strike, and now it's 1-2. Edebry Ramos, 24-year-old from Venezuela, making his 39th appearance. Ahmed Rosario on deck, as Drupal Cabrera behind him. And the slider gets Rivera for the 2nd out. And a throw to third, and Flores is gunned down. What Wilmer had in mind, but he is gunned down to end the inning.
What is he thinking?
Did he think there were 2 out? I mean, Wilmer is not a fleet base runner.
Let's take a peek right here.
Yeah, he thought there were 2 out. He just forgot how many out there were.
Good Lord.
Had to strike him out, throw him out, double play.
Oh.
The best in summer basketball straight from the courts as SNY and Overtime team up to bring you the hottest New York City hoops action. Check out the week's best highlights from some of the best high school ballers in town on Geico Sports Night tonight after the postgame only on SNY. Jerry Blevins on to pitch the bottom of the 8th.
Well, another fine year for Jerry.
Daniel Nava, who came in on the double switch in the last half inning, will bat for the Phillies. He's a switch hitter, but a much better left-hand hitter. So this turns him around. He's hitting just 174 from the right side, and Blevins gets the curveball over for a strike. Well, I know brain cramps happen all the time in baseball, but in a one-run game, Wilmer Flores forgetting how many out there were and getting thrown out at third to end the inning, that really stings.
It's a very embarrassing moment too if you are the player that vapor locks.
Cesar Hernandez on deck, then Freddie Galvis, 3 switch hitters in a row against Blevins, and it's grounded foul by Nava, 1 and 2. And all 3 are better left-hand hitters than right. So it makes sense to have Blevins in the game here in the 8th, trying to set it up for Ramos in the 9th. Looks like Ramos is getting up now in the Mets bullpen, so looks like Terry might be inclined to go to him for more than 3 outs if necessary to try and lock this one down. One-two to Nava, and it's too high. 2-2. Blevins last time out, he was just spectacular against Texas. Faced 5, retired 5, striking out 3 in a 1-run win for the Mets.
A very exuberant fan down there, Philly fan.
Boundless energy.
She's leading the chant and no one's supporting her.
Struck him out. Blevins fires the fastball by Nava for the first out in the bottom of the 8th. If nobody follows, are you truly leading a cheer?
That's true.
Or are you simply a sole practitioner?
You're making a lot of noise.
Well, I think that's the point.
Well, she's a fan.
You wouldn't want all the fans to sit on their hands and make no noise.
Well, they are. There she goes.
Here's Cesar Hernandez, who's been on base 3 times tonight with a single and 2 walks. He bluffs a bunt and takes a strike. Cabrera shortened up at third against Hernandez after he bluffed a bunt on the first pitch. And a good changeup that time by Blevins. He's incorporated that pitch more lately against the right-hand hitters.
Put it in a good spot too.
Oh, 2 to Hernandez, and the curveball down. 1-2. Paul Sewald worked an inning in a third, allowed no runs and 1 hit. So push it to the 8th and get it to Blevins. One-two coming. Curveball fouled off his leg. Trying to go to 5-0 at Citizens Bank Park this year. Blevins with a 1-2, and fastball foul back, and Hernandez stays alive. Cesar Hernandez, who over the last 2 years has really established himself as a very useful leadoff hitter.
He's got a nice on-base percentage. Coming into the game around 360.
370 last year. With some time with an oblique injury. It kept him out of the series against the Mets the last time around, but he's a pest. Leads the National League in infield hits. Draws walks.
a table setter.
Yep. In the classic sense.
11 triples last year. That was the major league high.
Seventh pitch of the at bat coming from Blevins to Hernandez. And that's below the knees with a changeup. 3-2. So he's gotten from 0-2 to 3-2. With Galvis waiting to follow. Now the 3-2. And it's drilled to deep left field. Back goes Cespedes near the wall. It's out of here. Cesar Hernandez ties the game with his 7th home run of the year. And the Phillies get back even at 6-6. Whiten it back for Cesar Hernandez.
Well, he jumped all over this high fastball. Felt high, middle.
That's the 4th home run Blevins has allowed this year.
Right down the middle.
So on a back and forth night, we're even again.
You knew it.
An awful feeling. To Galvis, who's 1 for 4 on the night, and double under the glove of Dom Smith at first base in the 6th inning. Galvis swings over the curveball, 2-1. So Seth Lugo's chance to win tonight goes by the boards. Nick Pivetta off the hook.
And we said earlier it was going to be a bullpen game, and it is one. They all are, as you said, Jerry.
Taking the other way, just over the glove of Flores. And Galvis has his 2nd hit of the night.
Pretty good hitting right here on a backdoor curveball off speed. Watch Galvis hang and stay back. Reaches out and gets that ball. I mean, that's a good pitch. You got to tip your hat to the hitter there.
Just a little too tall for Flores. And so now the Phillies have the go-ahead run on base with Odubel Herrera coming up. Herrera's 1 for 3 and a walk, and now with the Mets no longer in the lead, it's not Ramos but Hansel Robles who gets up.
Got to be wary of a potential stolen base here. Galvis has 10 stolen bases, only caught twice.
Cabrera in on the grass at 3rd against the threat of the bunt from Herrera. And Blevins had Galvis moving back toward the bag as he delivered that pitch. Taken for a strike. Herrera doubled his first time up tonight, stretched his hitting streak to 14 games. Drove on a run with a ground out his last time up. And a curveball inside, 1-1. Rhys Hoskins on deck. Herrera plays every day against lefties and righties, and he gives up little against left-hand pitching. In fact, he's hitting .316 against lefties this year, better than his mark against right-hand pitching. And the curveball, he flails at that, loses his grip on the bat, and it's 1-2.
Big leg kick. And Herrera is a very undisciplined hitter. but the fact that he swings the bat, he's got a chance. But a guy like this can be pitched to.
Blevins has had a lot of success against him. Herrera is 0 for 9 against Blevins. And Jerry's got the count in his favor. And the curveball whacked over the head of the second baseman and into right center, a base hit. Well, Blevins threw another curveball, and this one Herrera was able to poke into center field. 3 straight hits against Blevins.
Curveball. Not enough away. A little bit of pause here. You're not quite certain if Walker had a shot. And Herrera was halfway down the line, was giving himself a big pat in the back when he's running to first base.
First time he's ever gotten a hit against Blevins in 10 tries. So Blevins, after getting 1 out, gives up a home run and 2 singles. He will exit. And Hansel Robles will try and pick up the pieces with the right-hand hitter Hoskins coming up. 6-6 in the bottom of the 8th. We'll be right back to Philadelphia. Hernandez on a fastball, but then the curveballs that Galvis and Herrera hit.
Well, that's a A1 pitch right there, and just tip your hat. This one, the only problem with this one, it's not away enough. It's down, but still it's not a bad pitch.
So he exits with 2 runners on base. Rhys Hoskins will come to bat against Hansel Robles. The last time we saw him on Wednesday threw 3 hitless innings against the Texas Rangers.
Well, it appears that he's gotten past the numbness in the fingers.
The 10 of 20 runners stranded is not a good number. And he inherits 2 here. Galvis at second, Herrera at first. They both run well. Hoskins looking for his first big league hit. He's 0 for 3 tonight, 0 for 5 so far. And he takes a slider out of the strike zone for ball 1. Hoskins last time up hit it hard, lined out to Granderson in right field. Phillies have rallied to tie it here in the 8th on the Cesar Hernandez home run. Now looking to grab the lead. And Hoskins takes it low, and it's 2-0.
Good pitch to hit now. Well,
Robles behind 2-0. And Hoskins gets jammed and fouls it back.
Jeez, that's just no recognition of the pitch. That ball was never even started out as a strike. Jeez, how did it not hit his fists? Jeez.
Break your thumbs.
How did it not break the bat? That's 3-0 right there.
That's deciding to swing before the pitch is
exactly,
thrown.
and that means everything's speeding up for you.
Second big league game. Looking to get his team a lead in the bottom of the 8th. Certainly helped out Robles there. Now it's 2-1. And Hoskins lifts this one down the right side. That'll head into the seats and out of play. And it's 2-2. Nick Williams, left-hand hitter on deck. Galvis carrying the go-ahead run at second. Herrera at first with 1 out. Mets trailed 3-0, led 4-3. Phillies tied it. Mets led 6-4. Now the Phillies have tied it again. 2-2 to Hoskins. And he struck him out with a high fastball. 2 down.
That was another ball, so Hoskins is having a tough time not getting his first hit, starting to press. This is up in the strike zone. So it's up to Nick Williams here, and it's not coming easy.
The Hoskins family feeling it with each empty at bat. So now Nick Williams is 2 for 4 tonight. Single to left, single to right. He's scored a run. He's driven in a run. He's also struck out twice. He bats here with 2 on and 2 on. Takes it up and away for ball 1. A lot of young players on both sides just getting their feet wet. Hoskins in his second major league game. Williams has been up for a little over a month. That's starting Smith and Rosario tonight. It's that time of year for teams that are out of the race. Get a look at what they've got.
50 games left. A lot of good looks.
And, you know, you can say these are low leverage games, but it's not a low leverage part of the game. It's a tie game in the 8th inning, and these are spots where you can prove yourself.
There's never low leverage games for young kids when they're breaking in, Gary.
Williams takes it inside, 2-1. Now 3-1. Yeah, Michael Franco standing on deck. So Williams has put himself in a good spot here. Two on, 2 out. 3-1 to Nick Williams. And he hits one in the air to right field along the line. Granderson over. Side retired. Caught it in fair territory. Robles comes in, gets 2 outs. But the Phillies tied on the Hernandez home run, 6-6 going to the 9th. mistake. Oh, see, that's what you're missing, Keith. Take a drive around the majors presented by Cadillac. Giancarlo Stanton, red hot, 40 home runs, first to reach that mark this year. Carlos Carrasco carried a no-hitter into the 7th. Indians shut out Tampa Bay. Andrew McCutchen leaves with injury. Jameson Taillon gets the win as the Pirates beat Toronto. Now the Phillies bring in their closer Hector Neris to pitch the top of the 9th.
Neris has been outstanding since late June in 19-game stretch. His last 3 appearances, he's notched 3 saves.
Ahmed Rosario leads off. Rosario 2 for 3 tonight. Single to center, single to left. He scored 2 runs. Now Asdrubal Cabrera on deck, and then Curtis Granderson for the Mets in the top of the 9th. And Rosario takes the fastball high, 2-0. Neris is a guy who does not often yield home runs. Only 1 in his last 40 appearances. Got that good splitter to go with his fastball, and that has helped him establish himself as the Phillies closer after much shuffling around this year. And Rosario with a good cut fouls it back, 2-1. Neris the 5th pitcher for the Phillies tonight. Nick Pivetta went 4 2/3, allowed 6 runs, 7 hits. Jason Terry in an inning and a 1/3. Adam Morgan an inning and a 1/3. Edubray Ramos 2/3 of an inning, all no runs, enabling the Phillies to come back to tie. And Rosario hits one out to right center field. It's deep, back in the gap near the wall. It's out of here! Ahmed Rosario with his first major league home run, and it gives the Mets the lead in the 9th inning. What a spot for Rosario against a pitcher who's been very stingy with the long ball. Rosario hits the first of his career, and the Mets lead at 7-6.
Well, you got a rookie up there, and you're 2-1. I'm going to throw the fastball, and nice. He swung the bat really well today. His 3rd hit, and it looks like Rosario's starting to feel relaxed and letting his ability take over. Rips that ball right to the opposite field. Well done.
He had 7 home runs in Vegas this year, now his first in the big leagues. And now Cabrera follows with a drive to the corner in right field. That goes 1 hop against the wall, and Cabrera legs his way to second base, and he's in with a double. So after Rosario leads off the inning with a go-ahead home run, Cabrera follows in short order with his 2nd hit off the bench tonight.
First pitch fastball, right on it. And Cabrera, you're right, Garrett, 2 for 2 on the day, coming in late.
So 2 extra base hits in a row against Neris. And now the Mets in line to get an insurance run home with Curtis Granderson coming up. And A.J. Ramos getting up in the bullpen, getting ready for a save chance.
Well, Granderson here, it's incumbent on him to pull the ball. Gosh, he can bunt Gary past the first pitcher on the right side of the infield. He can walk to first base.
Yep. And Curtis goes after the splitter, 0-1.
I mean, they got the pyramid defense here. They've left Frankel on the left. They have to, because he's got to be anchored at third base. Look at a bunt you can do right down that towards second base, towards the second base position.
Well, with Nava playing deep and the second baseman Hernandez well out in the outfield, there's just nobody there.
Oh yeah, you can just forget it. So you're going to give that up defensively? Really?
I think their figuring is that there's just no way that Curtis is going to bunt, and they're right. Now it's 0-2.
Yep.
Neil Walker waiting on deck. And Curtis flies one into shallow left center. Hoskins coming on. And that's the first down of the inning. So Granderson unable to advance Cabrera. 1 away. And now Neil Walker. Walker has an RBI single tonight. 1 for 3. He scored 2 runs. Game that has gone back and forth all night long. Both teams have rallied from deficits. Mets have done it once. The Phillies have done it twice. And now the Mets back in front of the ninth on Rosario's first big league home run. Walker at the plate. Cespedes on deck. Looking to get Cabrera home from second with one out. And that's on the corner. 0-1. Looking ahead to the bottom of the ninth, the Phillies will have Franco, the pitcher spot, and Alfaro due up. And still have Hyun-Soo Kim on the bench to pinch hit. Andres Blanco. But it's the 6, 7, and 8 hitters coming up for the Phillies. That's pulled to the right side and through for a base hit. Cabrera to third. He'll be held up there. Slides to a stop as Williams gets it into the plate on 2 hops. And so Neil Walker has his second hit of the night and his 6th in 2 games in this series. And the Mets have first and third and 1 out.
Boy, no one can score in a single from second anymore. I am tired of seeing it. And, you know, it's around baseball. I'm not saying the Mets. It's everybody. Gosh darn, you get a base hit like that and clutch out and you don't get an RBI?
Well, you got a small ballpark and you got a guy in Cabrera who just doesn't.
Well, I understand. I understand, Gary, but it's station to station ball.
Here's Cespedes, first and third and 1 out, and the Phillies are going to play halfway with their middle infielders.
Well, it sets up a nice day for Mr. Cespedes here, who's got 4 RBIs. He's got a big one out there to drive in right now.
3-run homer in the 3rd inning that gave the Mets a lead. An RBI single in the 5th. And now first and third and 1 out. Each team now with 13 hits. Mets doing damage against Neris, the Phillies closer. He's already given up 3 hits in the inning. And Cespedes chasing. 0-2. Now the 0-2, and it's low and away with a split. 1-2. Michael Conforto waiting on deck. Walker dives back. Walker getting about a step lead. Not sure why Neris felt he had to throw over. Cabrera at third, Walker at first. Middle infielders halfway. They could come home on a ground ball or go to second for a double play where they're set up. One, two coming, and Cespedes chases it for strike 3. So Neris gets a big strikeout for the second out.
Chased, and we've seen a lot of that from Cespedes, and that's just out in front.
So now 2 out of the inning, and it's left to Conforto. Michael has homered and walked tonight, 1 for 3. Conforto 2 for 7 in his career against Neris, and again they'll put 3 infielders on the right side, leaving the shortstop hole completely open for Conforto. First and third and 2 down. And Michael takes the splitter for a strike. Coming up on Geico Sports Night tonight after the post-game show. Oh, it's time for preseason football.
Ooh. Preseason. I believe they play 3-4 games. 4 games. It shows how much I pay attention to the preseason.
Remember when they used to play 6 preseason games?
You know, they're too big. They get hurt.
Well, they only play the real guys for a quarter. Topped slowly, charging Franco, throwing on the move, and he gets Conforto to end the inning. So the Mets settle for just the 1 run on Rosario's first big league home run. Big moment for the 21-year-old rookie. Takes one the other way at Citizens Bank Park. The Mets' 3rd home run of the night puts them up 7-6 going to the bottom of the 9th in Philadelphia. Changes for the Mets. Neil Walker moves from second base to first base. Jose Reyes comes into play second base. Juan Lagares' first appearance off the disabled list will come into play center field. Michael Conforto will move from center to right, and A.J. Ramos will bid for the save.
There's Ramos's numbers, and he's looking for his 2nd save as a New York Metropolitan.
Got the save against Texas on Tuesday night. Gave up a home run to Robinson Chirinos after inheriting a 2-run lead, but got the final out for a 1-run win. Comes in to face Maikel Franco leading off in the last of the 9th. Mets have left some runs on the table the last couple of innings. Base running mistake by Flores in the 8th, and then leaving a runner at 3rd in the 9th, and hoping that doesn't come back to bite them with a 1-run lead now in the bottom of the 9th. Franco's 0 for 4 in his career against Ramos. Hyun-Soo Kim out on deck to pinch hit for the Phillies, and Franco lays off the slider. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hansel Robles, pitcher of record on the long side after getting the final 2 outs in the 8th inning, after the Phillies had tied it against Jerry Blevins. Rosario's home run putting the Mets back in front. And Franco went around on that half swing, and now it's 1-2. One-two from Ramos. Line towards short. Gloved by Rosario. Guns it in time to get Franco 1 away. So 1 out and nobody on. Now Hyun-Soo Kim will be the pinch hitter. Kim acquired from Baltimore when the Phillies traded away Jeremy Hellickson before the trading deadline. Struck out as a pinch hitter last night. Kim facing Ramos for the first time. And AJ fires the fastball and Kim fouls it off. 0-1. Hasn't been smooth sailing for Ramos since coming to the Mets. Love a clean 9th inning. And it's rolled to the right side. Reyes gets in front of it and throws out Kim 2 away. So now the Phillies are down to their final out, and Jorge Alfaro is coming up. Alfaro tonight 1 for 4 at a base hit back in the 3rd inning. So Ramos with a chance to nail it down. 2 out and nobody on. And Alfaro goes after a first pitch slider. 0-1.
Big breaking ball there. Keep the ball away.
If Alfaro keeps it going, Daniel Nava would be next. Ramos trying to end it right here. And another slider, and he went around, and now it's 0-2.
No, you're seeing in Ramos here the breaking ball. He has got a wicked breaking pitch.
So now the Phillies are down to their final out. And down to their final strike. 0-2. He struck him out. The tag made by Rivera, and the ball game is over. AJ Ramos with a 1-2-3 ninth for the save. Ahmed Rosario with his first big league home run, a 3-hit game for Rosario. He plays the hero with the go-ahead home run in the 9th. And the Mets are now 5-0 at Citizens Bank Park this year as they win a back-and-forth game from the Phillies 7-6.
Well, big nights, a big seesaw game, and another win for the Mets. They always find a way to beat the Phillies, particularly here at this stadium. Rosario with his first major league home run. That would be the game winner. Conforto is 25th. Earlier in the game, Cespedes with a big night with the bat, drove in 4 runs and hit a 3-run homer in the 3rd.
Well, the Mets hit another 3 home runs in Philadelphia. Conforto, Cespedes, and the big one from Rosario to put the Mets up in the 9th. First big league home run for